Bobby Pierce has officially committed to the World of Outlaws for the 2025 season. Roll this up over at stockcarreport.com. You can find the link in the description below. Before we get into this, I do want to go back to this article that I wrote over here on November 13, where he didn't seem like he was too positive about the World of Outlaws moving forward. Obviously, he did this whole award ceremony following the Dirt Track World Finals at the Dirt Track at Charlotte. And he was asked by World of Outlaws late model announcer Ruben Morales, or at least Ruben Morales said this: there's a lot of positives still going into next year. Momentum. I know you're going to have a fire under your seat going into next year to get the championship. And Pierce said, oh yeah, we're going to go into it. Hopefully we do even better. But like I said, you can't ask for a much better year. We'll see what we do next year. Still kind of open right now, but we're just looking forward to it. So obviously was uncommitted just a couple of months ago. Now he has fully committed to the World of Outlaws 2025 season. And he made this clear in an interview with worldofoutlaws.com. He says, definitely excited to come back. We have some unfinished business to try and win another championship. But yeah, I like how the Outlaws are putting more money out there. I like a lot of tracks the Outlaws go to, a lot of good races. He added, it's going to be hard to duplicate a season like this. It's been incredible. I can't thank everyone enough who helps me and got me to this point. My dad, all my crew guys, all the sponsors on this car. As for another reason why he chose the World of Outlaws, he said this: I like going to new tracks. I like when the schedule kind of changes a lot too. I don't like it being the same year after year. He specifically pointed to I-55, saying Federated Auto Parts Raceway at I-55 is definitely a good one. I told series director Steve Francis, and I think a lot of drivers told Francis, we want that track on the schedule. It's really good. I'm looking forward to that. That track is absolutely phenomenal. That is a great track. I think that's where they closed out the Hunt the Front series at the end of the year, and it was great. So kudos to World of Outlaws getting that on the schedule. He then also pointed to the season opening races at Volusia. He says, I do enjoy starting out at Volusia. That's really the only Florida track I like. We were really fast last year and this year there, and a lot of tracks throughout the year. We're getting more familiar with them. Pierce also noted he likes that the World of Outlaws does not have any kind of playoff system. He said this: one of the big things I like is there is no points gimmick at the end of the year. It's straight up all year. I think that's the way it should be. That's a big influence for me. I don't like what NASCAR does with the playoff thing. I don't like restacking things. I like every race matters throughout the season. I like that. I know it is going to be more to win for the points, so that's great. We've built some good relationships with everyone here. We're just really looking forward to it. I actually agree with him. I think the whole playoff system, I don't really like it for the most part. I think there are plenty of series that prove that you don't need a playoff system and can still have a really competitive year throughout the year. The Cars Tour obviously came down to the last race. World of Outlaws came down to the last races there. Obviously, the only reason why it came down to that, though, is because Pierce was penalized. What was it? I think I included here. He was penalized 100, and I think it was like 144 points. Yeah, 144 points. It was initially 294, but it was reduced after the appeal. So he was obviously penalized 144 points. But even then, I mean, he still ended up only 39 points behind Brandon Sheppard. So it was still going to come down to that last event there at the World Finals, even if he didn't have that points race, because I think he finished, what was it? I think it was like 39 points or something like that behind Sheppard, who eventually won. So obviously, I do think you can get obvious competitive racing without having a playoff system. Now, I do get the appeal of a playoff system. Nearly every sport has it for the most part. You talk about basketball, you talk about hockey, talk about football. Even college football is doing it now. They got rid of they have a playoff system now. So I get the appeal of that. I do think that there is something interesting to it. I do not like the way NASCAR does it with like the one race determines the winner. That's absolutely awful. It's terrible. And you just whittle it down to 4. I do like more like what Lucas Oil does, what NASCAR used to have with the chase, where you kind of have the 10 races, and then you move forward. But I think in general, you don't really need it. So I agree with Pierce here on that. But I'm probably not as opposed to it as what it sounds like he is, though, because I do find that there is a heightened entertainment value with the chase playoff system that Lucas Oil had. I think that did add a lot of more drama to it. made it more interesting. And then you get like fun stories, right? People were writing off Ricky Thornton Jr. He obviously made a huge rally, came back, and won the championship. So I do think there are some positives to it. So I'm not like fully against a playoff system. I'm definitely against, though, that one race, you win, winner take all, best finish takes all, or whatever. I think that's just ridiculous. Do not like that at all. So, as noted above, the World of Outlaws late model season begins on January 23rd at Evolution Speedway Park for the Dirt Car Sunshine Nationals. Pierce will be looking to claim his second World of Outlaws championship. He previously won in 2023, which, based on what I was looking at on the World of Outlaws website, that was his first year racing full-time with the Tour. I'm pretty sure that was the case. He will also be looking to climb the ladder when it comes to total wins for the series. Over the past 2 years, he has 28 wins, 14 wins each season. He's already in 10th place for the total wins with the World Outlaws with 31, which I'm not sure if that's true. Like the blog post where they shared the interview with Pierce said 31, but you go to the Bobby Pierce stats, it says 32. So I'm not sure which one is accurate there. But if it's 31, he's 2 behind Scott Bloomquist and Tim McCready, who are tied for 8th with 33. So it's likely he's going to pass both of them this year. As I said, he had 14 wins this year, 28 top 5s and 33 top 10s with the World of Outlaws. 38 points. There it is. I was one short. 38 points behind champion Brandon Shepard. So even with that 44-point penalty, it still would have come down. It would still come pretty close to the Dirt Track World Finals there. So I covered that penalty earlier, but some of his wins included the Illini 100 at Farmer City. Second best race was the prelim for Farmer City with the World of Outlaws between him and Nick Hoffman, where they came to the line. That was such a great race after he got spun out too. Great race. The Go for 50 at Deer Creek, the Prairie Dirt Classic at Fairbury, which was the best race of the year. Absolutely phenomenal race. I mean, that was just. I mean, I don't think it gets any better than that. I mean, that was such a great race. And then he also won the USA Nationals at Cedar Lake. He won races at Atomic. So it's going to be hard to duplicate, but he did it. He did it last year, right? He had 14 wins last year. Did 14 wins again this year. So we'll see. I mean, he's at the top of his game. We saw how dominant he was, or how threatening he was, at least at the Gateway Dirt Nationals. He's still got it. He's going to be a threat. He's at his prime. He's probably one of the best drivers we've seen in a very long time. And he is clearly going to be the favorite, I think, to win the World of Outlaws in 2025. I don't think that they're... I don't know who else would be there, but we'll see. I mean, things can change, right? I mean, we saw that he did struggle certain portions of the year, obviously having engine issues, making mistakes where he's like, I forget what it was. He left something in the car and it overheated the engine or something like that and ruined a chance there. So there are things that he can obviously improve on and get better on during the entire season, which you think about that, it's like he made all these mistakes last year and he still was so dominant. So if he improves on that, just think about how much more dominant he will be. So World of Outlaws gets Bobby Pierce to commit. I think that is a big coup for them, and because he is the best dirt late model driver in the country at this time. But let me know what you guys make of Bobby Pierce committing to the World of Outlaws and his reasonings for doing so. Let me know in the comments below.